This is the KwikFlight Striker in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. If you know your attack helicopters, you'll recognise it as the AH-1 Zulu Viper, the twin-engined, four-bladed descendant of the Cobra and Huey families. But this add-on has attracted, let's say, mediocre ratings from the flight sim community, and I wonder why. I want to know what works well in this product and what could be better. And I see that I can rent it from the MSFS Marketplace and see for myself if it deserves the bad reviews. So in this video, I'll check the visuals, the sound, the systems, and what it's like to fly. An important note, if you want some weapons and mission functionality, you'll need to purchase from the AnyBuilds store. In the MSFS Marketplace, weapons are always cosmetic only. So let's get into this and try out the Viper, or the Striker, you know what I mean. Let's fly! And here we have the KwikFlight Striker page on the MSFS 2024 Marketplace. I noticed two things. One, it's available for rent. Excellent, so a chance for me to try it out. And two, it has a rating from 16 votes of 2.9 out of 5. Not that impressive, and only 2 out of 5 for the last 10 days. Does it deserve that low rating? And there's the breakdown there. People don't mind the visuals apparently, it's just everything else. Oh well, we'll have a look at that soon. So this deal here, right, so rent. I can rent it for Australian $14.95. Seems a good opportunity for me to try it out. That's for 1 day. For 7 days, I could have it for $20.95 from a purchase price of $37.45. If I were to purchase it during or after that rental period, I think it extends after, but that rental price would be subtracted from that purchase price. So it's not a bad way to convert yourself from a renter to a buyer, but I just don't think this is the most generous deal. $14.95 to rent for 1 day. It kind of suggests, given that's a large portion of the purchase price, that it's maybe they don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to convert renters into buyers. So they're trying to, it seems, I'm speculating here, I don't know this, it seems they're trying to maximize their returns just from that rental deal there. From a commercial operation, completely understandable, but that's just what I noticed when I looked at this. Compare it with this one, the Miltech Simulation CH-47D Chinook. Similar purchase price for me, it's on sale at the moment. I can rent it for only Australian $5.95 for 1 day. And again, kind of a similar 7-day price, but that would then subtract from that if you were thinking of purchasing it. So a bit easier to enter into for 1 day. Again, perhaps suggests they're a little bit more confident about converting you into a buyer. So back to the Striker page, and I'm just going to go ahead and rent it. So 1 day, if you feel like chipping in with a super thanks to support what I do on this channel, you may go ahead and do that, but I'm going to pay for this with my own money in the meantime. And so here it goes. I found that it launches the purchase in Steam, which is how I purchase MSFS 2024, and then it just authorizes inside the app like that now. I'm now renting the item. Excellent. Let's go and have a look. Well, here are the liveries we can choose from. I'm not really too sure what the relationship is with Blackbird Simulations, whether they might have just done the 3D assets for this KwikFlight add-on. I'm not too sure about that. Scrolling through, yes, check. Default digital camo, Japan Self-Defense Force, Marines 1, Marines 2, Sea Cobra. I've chosen the shark mouth here, and there's sort of a tan desert one as well. So I'll choose this nice looking grimy shark mouth livery. So I've started the flight in the Striker, and what do you notice that is strange about this picture? I have started the flight with the aircraft shut down, and I am inside the aircraft. This is a 2024 native aircraft, and yet I'm starting inside it. I've not seen this before. All other times I've started outside the aircraft. Now, I need to inform you, dear viewer, that I have spent, I'm going to say 2 hours working out if there's a manual for this thing, what I might be doing wrong here, trying this with and without chase plane, trying different starting locations, but no. This starts here, and I thought, well, why don't I just pop the hatch over here? Click, nothing happens. No tooltip on that, and nothing happens. Okay, well, what about Shift-C to take control of character? Shift-C, Nope. I am stuck inside this aircraft. Slightly worrying situation, so I am forced to use chase plane to get outside. And there it is in its folded up state, yet with weapons loaded up there. The AH-1 Zulu Viper, aka the KwikFlight Striker. And the closer we get here, the more we see the level of detail on this model is actually really fantastic. I'm right in there, and that is looking pretty good. Lots of different materials used there. Not quite seeing that shimmering refractive perspex or acrylic on the windshield, am I? No, I'm not. I'm just seeing scratches there, which actually do look fantastic. And here we have some systems to support the folded up blades, and so that all looks really good as well. Bolted on there temporarily. Look at the amount of trouble I've gone to here in the modeling. It is really quite something. Even the materials on this cover for the gun, wow, that is more than what an average outfit would do. This is really quite special. And look at the details there in the weaponry. Fantastic. Not really much of a military person, so I'm going to lack a lot of insight into these systems here. But I mean, the level of detail there does look pretty impressive. And one of the telltale signs always is looking up into here. And they've even gone to the trouble of giving the tail rotor covers all this detail here, like clipped onto the airframe there. Spectacular. That's really quite something. Extraordinary detail in here as well. Just the texturing and the modeling is absolutely top notch. What else can we see here? Love those very flat engine outlets on the Viper or Striker. They are flat to and sort of angled away like that. One, to keep hot exhaust gas off the tail rotor, but two, to sort of flatten that outlet flow to make it a bit less detectable for infrared systems. So as a passive countermeasure. And so much detail here in different materials. And okay, drains. 6 different drains. And different, I mean, look at the, they've gone to the trouble of actually modeling all the different styles of nozzle there. Incredible. Incredible. Okay, let's just see if we can shoot up here and go through the wing, as it were, the pylon. And let's see if we can have a look at this hingeless rotor system that the Venom got. Don't let's call it the Venom. It is the Viper, the twin of the Venom, the gunship twin of the Venom. These are all descended from the original UH-1 Huey. And the Cobra became the gunship version, and the Viper is the modern day successor, 4-bladed. And just the level of detail in there again is very impressive. A hingeless rotor system, which means it's kind of rigid, and there's a lot of flexing in there in order to impart the forces that are required to get your cyclic and collective functions there in the rotor system. And look, I'm just endlessly impressed with the standard of modeling here. It's brilliant. So popping back inside, and again, this looks good. Nice use of very weathered textures there. I wonder what pilots think about that side stick controller. Might be slightly, take a bit of getting used to, I would have thought, from the central cyclic that most helicopters feature. The general layout of this cockpit is true to life, I feel, having studied a couple of photos. It's just that they've had to simplify a lot of the avionics. I love that Cobra is on the pedals there. Those seem to work. the collective control seems unusually upright to me, but then maybe that's just look at that. It doesn't actually work right now. I'm just pulling that. And we've got lots of, it's a HOCAS system, hands-on, collective and stick. And so you're supposed to be able to operate all the weapon systems from both the fore or the aft station using just everything here on the controls. Not all modelled faithfully in this recreation, I wouldn't have thought. But generally speaking, really, really, really good-looking interior with incredible detail, and in both modelling and texturing. Even when I'm so up close there, it looks just brilliant. So how to get this thing started up? One, I don't know how to get those covers off because I can't walk around, so I'm not quite sure what to do. I'll just run a kind of a startup anyway. I've got some views set here inside Chase Plane. So before flight, remove all covers. I can't. How can I? I can't walk around the aircraft. That's a fail. So battery is down here, turn that on, and some stuff starts coming to life here. Cockpit lights set as required, not required right now. Exterior lights set as required. If I got that over here, there we go. Let's get the position lights on. Searchlight stow. That's up here. Okay, now it's stowed, I think. Searchlight normal IR set as required. Don't know. APU's over on this side. No, this side. Let's get that APU happening. Just pop outside. Oh dear. Well, it shouldn't work, should it? It's still got the cover in it. Do you know what? I think I can take the blade fold. Just click that, and there's no animation, but it's just gone to where it needs to, I do believe. There we go. So the blades have unfurled. That's what we want, but the covers are still on. I don't know what to do about it. APU allegedly is on. What if I turn these inverters on right now? Nothing on the screens yet. I could just maybe turn these on. Yes, here we go. The screen's going to get going here. From what I can tell, these are an approximation of what they're like in real life. I think I need that on flight controls there. Rotor RPM low, no kidding. Inverter 1 and 2, that's done. MFD done, and the DFD, that's done. QNH, I'm just going to cheat and just hit the comma key. Blade spread, we've done that. Funny that you would do that this late in the process. HMSD, I think that is the infrared control. It doesn't work in this current condition, but I have muddled around previously and seen that work. Fuel 1 and 2 they're not off, so therefore I conclude they're on. Oh no, they are off. There we go. Closed. So let's get those not closed. Fuel vent, check bypass not displayed. It's not. Fuel crossfeed, open it. It is now open. Throttles, check both closed. So these don't seem to be mapped to my levers on my stick, so they are both closed. That's fine. And that's the before start check. Pretty abbreviated, I would suggest. Engine start. Turn anti-collision lights on. I did that already, didn't I? Yes, I did. But the covers are still on, so what can I do? What can I do? Not look outside, I guess. So engine 1, start. It comes to life, just like that. Probably shouldn't be working with those covers on, but I would be setting fire to them right now, I would have thought. Throttle 1, click to open. That's 2. And it doesn't suggest that we need to wait for the first engine, so I'll just start the second one. Great sounds. And I haven't done the throttle on engine 2, so let's do that. Get those generators on now. 1 and 2, that's done. Getting an engine out warning here. Don't know what that's all about. Maybe because I've got the covers on. So that's the engine start check. Let's actually run. After start, turn the APU off. Let's just get that up and that says off. Okay, so there's a bit of a delay on the indication there, so that's off. Crossfeed, open extinguishers. So crossfeed, that's now no longer open. SCAS, the stability control system. So let's just get over here. Check pitch, roll, and your PBAS extinguish. So does that mean I click it? I think it does. AFCS check off. It is. And so the SCAS is disengaged. I think that's correct. So takeoff checklist, we would check in the SYS1 page, which I think this is, that the RPM is 100%. Well, the rotor RPM is 104%. Shrug. Transponder set in MFD com page. Com. Transponder 1200. Mode A. Why not? That's done. Return. Automatic flight control system, engage when airborne if required. Well, in order to actually do this flight properly, what I'm going to do is restart the flight, but I'm going to put it on the runway so that I'm not sort of faking it with the cover still on, because that is kind of upsetting to me. Well, there it is, all started up on the active, which is my only way of getting the covers off. And it looks like a pretty serious machine in disguise here, especially all loaded up with weaponry as well. The animation of the hub versus the animation of the blade seems a bit different, and the border is actually maybe a bit more obvious than what it would be in real life, I think. So you can really see a boundary between the rotor hub and the hinge in each blade. So yeah, anyway, that's what that looks like. Tail rotor looks pretty good down there. So first things I notice here, we've got an alert, we've got a rotor overspeed, zooming in there. It's rotor RPM high, 110. What if I pull a bit of collective? AFTS is off. Why would I be getting a high rotor alert right now? Whoa. So we don't need that much collective up, but I've reduced that a bit now. Okay, confusing. Q or torque, I'm just moving the collective, does not seem to have any effect on the torque reading. I've got torque repeated up here as well somewhere, haven't I? 4. So I think that's the torque repeated up here, but it's just wrong. Okay, all right. The torque is not working. So normally we like to know what our torque is so we don't over torque our helicopter. But anyway, let's give this a go. So I'm going to just point down the runway there, or try to, and raise the collective. Rotor speed is coming down now. Is it going to come up to 100 again? Yes, it is. Okay, pointing straight down the runway. Try and stay in a hover. And that seems reasonably successful there. Oh, we do have some torque now, 18%. That would seem a bit low. Let's try a pedal turn. 90 degrees. Did you see that? Did you see how quickly it stopped there? All right, fake it again. 90 degrees right. And release. It stops instantly, like a drone. Just trying to get the collective right. So torque now 20%, that seems wrong. What if I turn these stability things off? We'll now turn right. It's exactly the same, it just stops. I went a bit too far, but that does not seem to be a realistic anti-torque response. I'll turn those back on. Stability is on, so we'll nose our way forward here, pull a bit more collective, and we gather speed pretty easily. %, torque. That's got to be wrong. Just use the head tracking as well. That speed reading is very hard to read. White in a small white rectangle. Very hard to read the speed. That's 80 knots, I think. And here comes 100 because I could see the 00 approaching. Nice airflow sounds, Echo 19, who did the sound set. You have done another great job, as we've come to expect from you. That sounds terrific. I like the airflow sound across the airframe, bit of rattling around. Beautiful, clear stereo recording as well. So that's 125 knots. Pulling more collective. Got the stick all the way forward. I haven't done any trimming yet. I'll just try a bit of quick trim. Okay. Nose down. That seems to be working. I've got all the collective pulled. Bit of a fast low speed run here. I can't quite break the max speed. What's that, 150, 160 knots about to break, so that's pretty fast. I'm having to use right pedal the whole time, and I'm a bit concerned what I'm seeing on the bounce ball there. Looks a bit wrong to me. Right pedal, right pedal, right pedal, right pedal. That's a lot of right pedaling right now. Well, with that amount of right pedal, at least we're not crabbing, I don't think. A bit confusing. All right, let's just turn back around. So our heading is... Wow, I can't read it again. I just struggle with that. That's 066. Just have to use a standby compass. So yeah, 60. So we'll just turn around, do a 180 here. Okay. All right, that's not promising. So I've tipped over the helicopter. Okay, if I get it around here, it starts to actually turn. Bit of left pedal? No, not going to help. I need to actually steer with the pedals, apparently. So that's silly. Oh, come on. Wow, this machine does not want to turn. Come on! That's all the right pedal right now. Why am I needing to use so much right pedal? Helicopter does not like to turn around. So what else have we got here? We've got automatic flight control system. Let's turn that on. On. Okay, the nose has come down. So I think it might hold the attitude. I think that seems to be working. I've got max collective here. It's all the way up. We're pulling 32% torque. That does not seem right. Now, we've got an alt barrow here. What do we do? What are we at there? 6,140, we're climbing. Alt barrow. Will that actually get us back down again? No, now we're descending. Is there a bug here I can move? If there is, it's not obvious to me. 5,910, is it starting to hold? Maybe it's just a bit loose on its capturing the selected alt and barrow. So with the collective all the way up, holding altitude, we are at 146 knots. Let's come back around to the town, Kingston, Nevada. This helicopter is not helping me make it coordinated because I'm having to use right pedal basically the entire time to not crab. Don't understand that. So torque reading meaningless, or at least way off. I'm going to turn off the AFCS again. Whoops, that was wrong. Oh. I'll just randomly click the wrong buttons for a while. So stability is back on, AFCS is off, that's actually what I wanted. I think I'm coming up to a left base for the runway here. So going back in the same way we went out, so reversing direction. I've set the winds to calm to make it a bit simpler today. Look, the atmosphere in this cabin's fantastic. It's just fantastic. It looks so good. I love this feeling of the canopy overhead here. It's just that there's quite a bit of other stuff that I'm finding very strange. 105, so collective down, nose up. I have to use the pedal to steer. That's strange. I feel that there's assistance going on even though I haven't switched it on. Feels mighty strange to me. I'll just see if I can get myself back down to the pad. I've deflected the nose so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Don't know if Cobra or Viper pilots like to do that in real life. Interestingly about this machine, the Viper, the AH-1 Zulu, I believe the controls are actually completely replicated from the fore and aft stations, so either crew member can control it. Is that a cherry blossom in flower down there? How cute. Nevada, famous for its cherry blossom season. Okay, why is my helicopter not going down? Why is it not going down? Collective is on the floor. Is it something to do with this? Whoa, yes it is. So the AFCS is off, but that altitude barrier was working, and I think it was working on radar? Okay, that was confusing. Yeah. I'll now try and get this onto the pad. Wow, what a mess. What a mess. So, onto the pad, I hope. Cancelling out that translation, trying to... There it goes. Yeah, I was just a bit indecisive going side to side there, just as I was getting used to it. But we are down. So there is the KwikFlight Striker, a mixed experience, I've got to say. How helpful would it have been to have some documentation available so I could understand how they've adapted the automatic flight control systems for use in home simulators? But I just couldn't find anything online at all. I do appreciate the option to rent add-ons like this to assess how they might work for me. And if you're someone who loves the Cobra or the Viper, maybe you like flying with assists on, this add-on, it looks and it sounds great, so you could get some value out of this. At 15 Australian dollars for one day, I don't find this the most generous rental deal. I invite you again to consider using Super Thanks at YouTube if you want to support this and my other helicopter content in MSFS 2024. Now, I would think that rental price will likely change over time, and I remind you, if you want weapons and mission functionality, you'll need to purchase instead from the AnyBuilds store. In the MSFS Marketplace, weapons are always cosmetic only. So I mentioned the visuals. The KwikFlight Striker has incredible visual detail, both in the modelling and the texturing. It is genuinely among the best I've seen in this simulator. The one visual disappointment for me was the difficulty in reading the primary flight instruments. Maybe if you're flying from outside with the HUD on, that might really never bother you. The sounds, another effective audio pack from the excellent people at Echo 19. That brand name has become so reliable for delivering truly great audio. I find the way this helicopter flies, kind of like a drone, strange. But if you're coming at this as a helicopter first timer, I just don't think that's likely to bother you. What bothered me was that I couldn't walk around. I couldn't remove the covers. I found that an annoying disappointment. I hope they'll fix that. So that's what I experienced with the KwikFlight Striker. I really hope this has been valuable to you, and I hope I'll see you for some more helicopter content real soon. Take care. See ya.